Becoming a content creator as a newbie is hard. But in this video, I will guide you on how to get started. Choose the right path and niche that suits you, making the journey much easier. Becoming a new content creator, there are many advice from others which are gurus that are very frustrating and most times not helpful. Believe me, as someone who had just started not long ago creating content for X, YouTube and TikTok, I know how frustrating it is. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to what I'm saying. I will say this, just forget about those advice you've learned, because what I'm about to share with you will get you closer to your goal and journey. Finding your target audience, knowing what to say, and getting into content creation, which can be very difficult. So the first stage of this strategy is building a solid foundation by knowing what to say and finding the audience you want to reach. So the first step of this stage is to forget about niching down. Yes, forget about niching down. I know what I'm saying might sound strange and might offend some people, but wait, let me say something. So a niche is a specific area of focus which contains two things: the topic what you want to talk about and your area of specialization, which means the people you want to help. For example, if you are starting as a content creator, your niche might be beginner friendly tech reviews, or it might be easy cooking recipe for students. As you can see, these niches are very specific. But on the other hand, target audience are people who are interested in your interest, in your values, in your pain points, and more. So these people are not interested in your niche, but they are interested in your own values, your own pain points, your own interest, and anything that is concerning you. So for example, my target audience might be people around the age of 20 to 30 years that are beginning their content creator journey. When you are starting, think of your niche as the topic you are talking about and your target audience as those who will be creating video for, because target audience is big and broad and it's not specific. And since it is broad, you can be creative with it and test different topics to see which works for you and what does not work. For example, when I create content for my target audience, I can talk about how to become a content creator, how to know the platform you prefer, how to know your interest, how to come up with your first idea, and many more. I think my target audience would like to watch because they are interested in my interest and my values. And because I have this freedom, I can experiment to see what works and what my audience likes the most. So as a new creator, you might be asking, how will you test what works and what do you even see since you are just starting out? Well, that brings us to the second step of this stage, finding your interest through PI, perceptive interpretation. So what is PI, or perceptive interpretation? Perceptive interpretation is how an individual views the world and the interpretation or understanding he or she gives to it based on their beliefs, their life experience, and who they are. For those who have not understand what I'm saying, let me give an example. One, a painting. An artist into classical history might see the painting of a sunset as the representation of color and light, admiring the technique used in that painting to capture that scene. While someone who grew up near the ocean might see that same painting and experience a deep emotion, remembering the evening time spent by the shore. So it is the same painting, but with different interpretation given to it. Example 2, a business meeting. An entrepreneur might see a business meeting as a chance to make deals and expand the company through possible profits and business benefits, while a new employee might see that same business meeting as a chance to learn, focusing on how the company works and how they make decisions rather than the business results. So when we apply the same concept, we have our own PI, perceptive interpretation, based on our beliefs and who we are. So what that means is you are going to look at what interests you, which is what you like, through your own perceptive interpretation. And many people assume that you must have only one interest, which is very, very wrong, because we all have more than one interest. For me, I'm interested in parenting because I want to become a good parent and a good dad when I have kids. Like me, I'm into parenting because I want to become a good dad and a good parent when I grow, when I have kids. I'm into awareness because I want to be aware of who I am, of what I'm doing, and to be in control of my body. I'm still interested in psychology because I want to know how the human brain works and how I can influence emotions. Then I'm still into fitness because I want to have my biceps, my parts, my chest, and I want to become fit, which I can still incorporate into my YouTube channel because people follow me not for my niche but for my interest. Now, let's talk about dopamine. So you might be asking, what is dopamine doing in this video? Dopamine is a chemical that your brain release, or body, no, it's brain, that your brain release that makes you feel good and motivated to do something. It makes you feel pleasure from eating your favorite food, watching a movie, playing your video games, or even achieving a goal. In the past, people get dopamine from creating things, be it like building a house or even growing crops. But nowadays, we easily get our dopamine from consuming, be it watching TV, playing video games, eating junk food, or even watching, you know what I'm saying. But in my case, it is reading of web novel. And this constant consumption can turn into a habit rather than an interest. So to find your interest, you must switch from consuming dopamine to creating it. So how do we consume dopamine? By watching TV, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling social media, eating junk food, and playing video games. And this gives you a dopamine boost as you consume it. By doing this, you are constantly taking in entertainment and pleasure, but you are not creating anything. On the other hand, creating is when you get involved in activities that leads to creating something, like driving, cooking, writing, building, learning a new skill, or even in my case, replacing web novel with books. With all this generating dopamine. And the difference is this: when you are consuming, you are relaxed, but in creation, there is effort, there is focus, and often challenges, and it brings a long-lasting satisfaction. Now, how do you switch from consuming to creating? 1. Cut back on consumption. Reduce the time you spend on consumption and put it into creating. For example, I reduce the time I spent on my web novel and I use that time to read book. The time I'm using for TikTok, I'm using it on watching podcasts on YouTube. Spend time on activities like cooking, photography, or anything that involves creating something, but not creating babies. That's not what I'm saying. 3. Start small. Begin by knowing what your interest is and know the things that are required of you for you to go into that interest, and expand as you learn more. Number 4, notice the satisfaction and pride that comes from creating, which will help sustain your interest and keep you going for a very long time. Everything I've been saying is the first step of finding your interest, which is changing your dopamine source from consumption into creation. So you'll be asking, what will you create since you are new? That brings us to the second step of this stage: exposing yourself to different forms of creation. Once you reduce your consumption time, you force yourself to get those dopamine from a form of creation. Now, what I want you to do is go to Google and type list of hobbies and write down any one that catches your eye, whether you are interested in it or not. As far as it's just interesting, just write it down. And after you have done writing them, try them one by one with enough time to see if you are interested in it or not. After you've made your list, let's say you choose photography. Start by researching it, watch some tutorials, and experiment with your camera or your phone. Try different things with your phone and camera to see if you really like it or not, and if you do not like it, strike that one off and move on to the next one. Continue doing this till you move through the list. Write the ones you are interested in a separate note, and that is your interest you can talk about. And if you do not find any interest among the list, I will advise you to go back to step 1 again, reduce your consumption time, get out from your comfort zone, and go out there and experience things. Just go out and do things you have not done before, because without experiencing them, you will not know what is interesting to you. So after you've left your comfort zone and experienced things, come back again and look through the list. Maybe you will see things that will interest you. I know what I'm saying is simple, but finding an interest is not as hard as people say. When you find your interest, you research on it, you experiment with it, you will have something to say, or you will have ideas from what other people have said. Share with those ideas. That, my friend, is creating of content, is content creation. So if you're a new content creator, just follow the strategy I've given to you. And if you don't understand this video, rewatch it again or comment down below. As a new content creator, creating content is not hard. You just have to experience things and have ideas. By sharing those ideas, you are creating content. And as you are doing all these things, don't forget, do it through your perceptive interpretation. Look at all those things through your own personal beliefs, your life and your experiences. Look at those things, then interpret it from the way you've lived your life. Interpret it from the things that have happened to you. Interpret it through your own personal experience, and you will have content tailored to your style because you are sharing it from your own personal experience. To summarize everything I've been saying, stay subscribed, like the video, and comment down. I'm just joking, but do like the video, subscribe, and comment down. So to summarize everything I'm saying, becoming a new content creator can be hard and be easy if you know what to do and if you don't know what to do. If you have any question or there are things you don't understand, comment down below. I'll be there in the comments to reply to your question. And if you want to ask me question personally, I will drop my X handle, so you can come up on X and ask me the questions that you want to ask. So see you later and start creating.